Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the PowerWomen Podcast.
This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss powerful issues, and the men and women who help us rise.
And we are your hosts with three very different backgrounds and very different perspectives. I'm Brandy Jo Newman.
I'm Gayatri Agnew.
And I'm your power mom, Claire Brown. Hey, y'all. Hey, we're back today, and I'm so excited to introduce everyone to my friend and speaker and all-around incredible woman, Karen Walker. Karen, tell everybody, who is Karen Walker? What do you do? Tell us all of the fabulous things about you. Please don't leave anything out, because if you do, I'll fill in those gaps. You know I will. So introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Walker. I'm the owner of Karen Walker Speaks. I absolutely love training, teaching, equipping, and empowering women. I do a lot of things in the community. I specialize in effective communication, leadership development, and team building. And so that's who I am. I'm happily married. I have 3 adult children, so I'm an empty nester. So it's just me, my hubby, and the dog. And I had just the amazing privilege of growing my business over the last few years. And I'd love to share some of those tips and things in my workshop, because when women put their mind to it, they can do incredible things.
Yes, for sure. Mm-hmm. Now, professionally, Karen, previously you've worked in what space? What would you?
For the last 18 years, I've been in public media. Yeah. I still operate in that space. I love it. I go around the nation, sometimes speaking on panels and being a workshop conference speaker and pulling in the community. I've specialized in community education, so equipping families and educators. So I love that piece. That's what I've been doing in that public media world.
Yeah. But then you really have honed a niche, and I think it's fantastic. And when I learned of you and we met and everything, I just lit up like a Christmas tree. I was so excited about it, because I learned about what you teach, and you know so much more of all of this, of course, than I do, which is why I was like, oh, you must come, you must do this. But you are a certified DISC instructor. And that's DISC as in DISC, which is a personality inventory platform, exam, whatever you want to frame that. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? Tell us.
Well, it's a behavioral assessment.
Thank you.
And yes, and I love DISC. I have so many things. But DISC, what I've carved a niche for, is helping people be more effective in their communication. Yeah. And also it helps with leadership, and it helps with closing the deal.
Yes.
We like to change our language and be able to communicate, not with the golden rule, which is treat people the way you want to be treated, but with the platinum rule, treat people the way they want to be treated. I think I got that wrong. The golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated, right? And then the platinum rule is treating people the way they want to be treated.
That's right.
Because when you can learn to change your language and get in sync with people and learn how to communicate in such a way that they really are listening, they're more apt to pull the trigger with you.
That's exactly right. And, being in a sales profession, I was introduced to this at my very first real estate conference 22 years ago. And so I have done my best to read on it and learn about it and study it as best as I can. I've never been certified in it. And so any granule of knowledge with it, I've tried to just grasp onto and teach my agents at my company all of this. And then you're so right. It totally changes your language. And our languages are key, right? To entering doors, to entering conversations, to entering relationships, to entering partnerships, to entering collaboration, to entering a different level of success. And if we are able to recognize others and how they want to be treated and what is important to them, then we're able to shift that language. And that is the key to this.
It really is. And I'm excited to be able to have a workshop at the retreat. Using DISC, because I know sometimes people think, oh, that's just another one of those personality tests, but it's so much more. It's a very effective tool to help you with relationship, whether it's at work, at home, at play. it can really transform your relationships, and it helps you too not to personalize people's
Right.
behavior. And when you
Right.
can not personalize it but understand it, then you have an edge. You have the advantage in building your business and your relationships.
100%. 100%. It is. It's truly life changing. It's like, oh, I didn't understand. That's what they really meant by that, because that's what's important to them, and because it's not what's important to me. And you really do. You learn so much. And it is. What if, right? What if we all went around this world thinking of others and how they wanted to be treated? How much more functional would we be? And how would we really change the world? And so, going into this and looking at it, like you said, it's not about another behavioral assessment. No, it's not. It's going into it and truly learning about others. And then how can you address others in a different way and communicate in a different way that then helps you achieve a greater purpose?
Absolutely. And it also makes you more self-aware. When you're more self-aware, you are definitely a better, more effective communicator. And so in the session, you're going to learn more about, we're going to take a deep dive into this. They'll have their own personal assessment that they'll be able to take home with them. They'll have to take it prior to the session. So it's important to get signed up so we'll know how many assessments to have.
Exactly.
And it becomes a coaching document. It's not just, a sheet of paper with some stuff. There's about 40 pages. Has graphs and coaching statements on there to help you in those areas that are not your strength.
Right. Yeah. And so you do identify your communication strengths, your communication weaknesses. And so, what if you're negotiating or wanting to apply for a job or negotiating for a raise? And then this teaches you how to communicate for that differently and to address these persons differently based on what is important to them. And it's not necessarily about you and your needs. It teaches you how to address and speak to others.
It really does. And I like that DISC addresses your natural behavior, because we all have our natural behavior, and our adaptable behavior. So it helps us to know how to shift and what that shift looks like and what it feels like. So I really enjoyed this DISC because it's tested, tried and true. It's been around for a long time, and it's research-based, science-based. A lot of the other tests are fun and they kind of give us a clue of who we are, but they're not science-based and research-based.
Right. It is. It's fascinating. And, as a mother, as a parent, I've been able to learn the DISC and then look at it in my children, watch them grow and how they change, and then address them different as a parent, to where our communication is so much more effective now. And there's not the push-pull that a lot of parents have that I hear about, because I've been able to communicate with them all their lives in a much more effective way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've seen marriages improve, because think about it. If you're a business owner and you're stressed out at home, you're in a difficult marriage, or you're always at odds with your kids, you have to come to work and put that smile on and lead people. That's very frustrating, and it can be stressful. So learning to be a more effective communicator and how to communicate well with others is going to be a win-win-win at work, home, and play.
Right. Right. I mean, and we can tap into it just a little bit, and I don't mind sharing. I've taken the DISC many times, and my personality inventory on that is I am 99% D and I'm 99% I. My S and my C are both below 5%, which means I'm very direct. I don't do numbers. I don't do charts and graphs. I don't do details. I'm not going to be an organized person typically. I don't do warm and fuzzies. I'm going to cuss a lot. I'm going to cut to the point. I'm pretty cut and dry about things. I like pretty things. I like things to be high maintenance sometimes. and it all is on a sliding scale. Everyone's a little different with it. I mean, it's no surprise because of an I personality type that I have red glasses, right? Yes. And you have your leopard. I mean, that is a classic I personality type, but by being able to recognize some of these key things just by looking at a person, seeing what they drive, whatever, you're able to clue in immediately on that personality inventory to then shift your communication, your behavior to address them how they choose and what is going to make them the most comfortable. And that is so important and so necessary. And what if you were able to walk into a room, read the room immediately and be able to shift who you are, your behavior and your verbiage immediately based on how you're able to evaluate the people and know their personalities immediately. It's so powerful.
It really is. And also, we are a little bit of all of the DISC types. And so what I like about the training is you're able to see the value of all of the behavioral types and how we need all the behavioral types. And so you're able, like you're right, to read a room and know how to change your language because we're at the core, we're who we are, right? But we want to be able to communicate in such a way, like I said, that people hear us. And most of all, too, that at the end of the day, that if you're trying to close a deal, they're going to close with you. I'm a D, I'm a high I, I'm very social and all of that, but I'm fast paced. And that's the difference with some of the behavior traits. Some are fast paced, some are slower paced. Some are more task oriented and some are more people oriented. So when you're talking to a task oriented person, to sit there and to want to tell warm, fuzzy stories and all of that, they just want task, right? So, let's just get to the point and let's get to the check-ins. And so you're better able to get things done with them. And you'll see too, once you master some of the strategies with DISC, you're going to see that there's less conflict in your workplaces or at home or wherever you are with people, because wherever there are people, you can't avoid it. There's always going to be conflict,
that's right. Yeah.
But it gives you an edge on how to diffuse things, how to communicate in such a way that you're bringing the win-win for everybody, and it's not just stressful. So I just love it. I think DISC is one of the best tools to use because it's based too on observable behavior. So you can walk into a room or even your company and just interacting and spending time with people. You can gauge whether they're a D, a I, or S, or C because you're looking at observable behavior, and that's what's valuable about it too. Whether you ever get them to an assessment or not, you can get a feel. Yes. Well, who am I dealing with? Okay, this is the person that want to hear my stories, or this is the person that needs me to ask them how was their day.
100%.
This is a powerful tool.
100%. I can go into a house, and if I see a ton of family pictures, I know immediately I'm dealing with an S. If I walk in and I see, pantries that are labeled and organized and garages that are organized and swept clean, I am dealing with a C. I know immediately I can identify these people. I mean, anybody, most of the time, people that are driving a minivan, I'm dealing with an S. Most of the time. They're going to they're going to want that minivan to put all those kids and pets in. And, but it doesn't mean that an ID or a C isn't going to love kids and pets, but they're not going to drive the minivan to do it. They're going to get the larger SUV. But if they're going to lead with an S, they're going to drive the minivan.
Well, I love it because also with DISC, you understand those different behavioral types and their fear. And their fears is what drive them.
That's right. The motivation.
Yes. Sometimes when a D is trying to get a project done, we're trying to get it and move it fast and get to the gate. But the C and the S, they're going to ask you 45 questions.
Yeah. And they want a soil sample before they'll make an offer on a house. I know. It drives me crazy because I'm a D. And I'm like, no, didn't you go see it? Didn't you see the price? Aren't you ready to make an offer? Isn't that all you need? Because that's my personality type, right?
I am so grateful for our S&Cs because
Yes.
especially when you're on a big project, guys,
Right.
your S&Cs are going to save you from making
Mhm.
costly mistakes. They're going to
Right.
help you they're going to slow you down a little, but
Yep.
that's not a bad thing. You're
Right.
going to get a better project because
Well,
they're going to ask the right questions.
that is so, to your
Mhm,
point, it is so crucial when you're hiring people.
mhm,
Because I've learned in hiring people at my company when I was team building that I
mhm.
needed to hire people that were not my personality.
Absolutely. You hire who you're looking
Because I needed to
for.
hire these people that were so much better at these details and
Mhm,
all these other things that obviously were not my natural personality. Even if I tried to adapt as much as I could, someone that did these things naturally was going to be better at them than I was. But if I didn't know and have itemized, behavioral patterns
mhm,
to look
mhm.
for, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known the
Mhm.
questions to ask. I wouldn't have had the
Right.
clarity of all these things to look for. And now
Mhm,
it's so clear and it makes hiring so much faster,
mhm.
easier, concise, and then frankly, it makes the success rate of it much better.
Right, because turnover
Mhm.
is so costly for companies. So
Yeah.
it's always best to bring training in. When you bring
Mhm.
in training, you are investing in your employees and you can have this healthy team.
Right.
However, when you don't train and you have conflict, it can turn messy, people
Mhm.
leave, people get fired, and it's just
Mhm.
costly. And it's a lot of
Right.
emotional
Yeah.
energy. The one
Yeah.
thing too, I keep saying the one thing, I guess there are many things I love about this.
There's
You,
never just
you
one thing.
it's not, it's like 20, 100 things.
I
But
know.
one thing I like, how about another thing instead
There
of
we
one
go.
thing?
There we go.
Another thing.
There's back to that language.
Another thing that I like is it helps you with the tensions. Because sometimes there's
Yeah.
tension between I's and S's. The I's want to kind of party and be with people, and the S and the
Mhm.
C's are trying to take care of business, right?
Right.
So it teaches you the tension that's there and how do you deal with that. If you're an I, how do you deal with a
Yeah.
D? If you're a
Mhm.
D, how do you deal with an S?
Right.
Also, it helps you in conflict. Your assessment tells you when there's conflict, how do I deal with the I? How do I approach it with the C? Also, what I love is that what happens when there's like four D's on a team? There's a tension there, right? With each other.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
it helps you to navigate that also. It's just an excellent tool. And it's not
Right.
just for your business. Like I said, it's for
Mm-mm.
relationships, period.
Mhm.
I've
Right.
just seen my own self awareness greatly improve my own personal relationships. Because I'm a
Yeah.
D, fast paced, eyes are fast
Mhm.
paced also. My
Yeah.
personality can be overwhelming for S and C's. So I
Mhm.
have to dial it down, right? They
Right.
don't want
Right. Yeah.
over
I
the
know.
top. They
I
want
know.
what's the agenda for the meeting.
Right. Yes. Well, and it also goes with showing, dealing with people, showing houses, interviewing on a podcast. I'm constantly in my
Mhm.
head telling myself, slow down,
Yes,
slow
yes,
down,
yes.
and be quiet because I tend to talk a lot. There's that I personality type. And then I get in a hurry because I'm a D and I just get so excited and I have to hurry and tell it because it's gonna go away if I don't hurry and say it. And so it's interesting how it shows up in different people. And I just can't help it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it makes us all better when
it
we,
does.
once again, when we
Yeah.
understand behavior and not
Right.
personalize it. So
Right.
I'm hoping a lot of ladies sign up and you walk away with actionable things you can do, strategies you
Mhm.
can implement
Right.
immediately that's going to help you as a person as well
Mhm.
as help you in your business and in your
Mhm.
relationships.
Mhm. It does. And it's lifelong.
Mhm.
And it's continuous. It's fascinating work, truly fascinating. I mean, I've done almost every single personality inventory behavioral exam there is. Truly, I'm not kidding,
Mhm.
really have.
Yeah, that too.
And this is the most applicable, useful,
Mhm.
and the simplest that
Mhm.
I have found.
Mhm.
And I've been able to use it, like I said, for 22 years. I love
Mhm.
it. It is fantastic. I cannot wait for you to share it with people at the retreat because it is truly life-changing. It really is.
It really is. And if ladies have taken it like years ago, it's going to be great to take it again because guess what? As we grow and as we get older, we become more emotionally intelligent, right?
Yes.
And so sometimes our behavior shifts a little. So it'd be great to see where are you now on your communication journey and how might you improve? Because all of us can improve no matter how great and awesome we are.
Yes, that's at least the goal. That's at least the goal, right?
Right.
Karen, I'm so excited. I can't wait to spend a whole weekend with you at the retreat. Your joy and you're such a depth and wealth of knowledge. And I mean, and you're here in Central Arkansas, but you know, like we've already established and discussed, you know, you have a path across this country that is unlike people here locally typically. And you're just a hidden gem here in Central Arkansas. So I'm so excited to get to know you more and for others to be able to grow from you as well. So thank you so much for your time today. And I can't wait for others to grow from you more in October.
Yes, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I am excited about the retreat. I am inviting people and to invite their teams. If they've needed training instead and you haven't been able to do it, this is one that's already organized. That's going to allow you team building. That's going to allow you to meet fabulous. Some of these leadership coaches and life coaches that are coming to teach, I can't wait to sit in their sessions. They are done with dynamite. So I love it. So sign your teams up if you haven't. Yeah. It's a great way to just really take your business and your life to the next level.
It really, really is. Yeah. You're amazing. I can't wait for more. I can't wait to see how you change the world. Hey, everyone. So we can't wait for the PowerWomen Retreat this fall. It's going to be October 4th through the 6th. Don't forget to sign up as soon as you can because spots are limited. Visit www.thepowerwomen.org/events. You'll find a list of all the breakout sessions and keynote speaker, along with everything else that's going to be there. The focus is mind, body, and business. We're going to be having zip lining, ropes courses, wine, whiskey, and women by the bonfire every night. And of course, many breakout sessions with business leaders across the country. Can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes and check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.